one day there's a situation, right? Maybe it's the 49ers, maybe, heading to the playoffs, offense is great.
Patriots,
somebody
Raiders,
look,
could be, you never know.
God forbid somebody goes down, would you pick up that phone?
I'm not opposed to it. If they would, I don't know if they're going to let me if I become an owner in an NFL team, but I don't know if, I don't know. I'm always going to be in good shape, always be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit, like MJ coming back, I don't know if they let me, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
That clip is the reason why we are even asking, who would you rather have at quarterback in 2024 for the San Francisco 49ers? Would it be Tom Brady or Brock Purdy? Now, obviously, he went and did this thing with the content creator where he was asked, hey, if the 49ers, deep playoff run, things go in a bad way from an injury perspective, would you come back? And it sounds like he would consider potentially playing for the San Francisco 49ers, maybe the Raiders, Patriots. He said a bunch of teams. And obviously, when Tom Brady says this, everyone's ears perk up because they've been waiting for the return of Tom Brady. But I find this part to be interesting because if Tom Brady really wanted to return and play for the San Francisco 49ers, he could have done that last year. I don't know if you guys remember this story that came out from Nick Wagner of ESPN, where Brock Purdy went out of his way to tell Nick Wagner that Kyle Shanahan told Brock that they were reaching out to Tom Brady to see if he would play for the San Francisco 49ers last year. And that was where Brock had a response like, man, I showed you that I could play last year as a rookie. I showed you that, I was competent enough to play in this league, and you're still going to go out and try to get someone else. And he said he kind of talked about how that lit a fire inside of him, kind of built that competitive nature of like, even with what he did as a rookie, it still wasn't enough to essentially solidify his job. And so Kyle, from what we've understood and known, already reached out to Tom Brady to come play for the San Francisco 49ers. Tom Brady could have been the quarterback last year, and he apparently said no. And Tom Brady has talked about the San Francisco 49ers multiple times, saying he does not like the San Francisco 49ers for them passing on him in the NFL draft. As we know, Tom Brady went 199 overall. The 49ers took a quarterback in that draft. I think it was Gio Carmazzi, if I'm not mistaken, ahead of him. And he held a grudge, and he doesn't like the 49ers. He said it on multiple occasions. It was his childhood team. He was in Candlestick Park for the catch. Like, he was a 49er, but the 49ers passed on him. And that put a chip on his shoulder, probably resulted in some of the greatness that he had. But he had an opportunity multiple times. And we knew that there was an opportunity too for Tom Brady to play for the 49ers in 2019. And Kyle Shanahan passed on him. And then the tables turned last year. Kyle Shanahan reaches out to Tom, and Tom says, I'm good. And the rest is history. Brock Purdy comes in, has a phenomenal season in the running for MVP, and has seemed to solidify himself as the future of the franchise. At least that's the way they are talking about him. So I don't think they're looking to replace him anytime soon. But again, I'm seeing the debate on social media with this stuff come up. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Tom Brady at 46 years old or Brock Purdy? And I think the question to me is funny. I think last year when Brock Purdy was coming off a UCL surgery and you just didn't know how he was going to respond to that, rehab process and all that, I think it would have been a lot easier to rationalize Tom Brady coming along. Then Brock learns from Tom Brady for about a season, and you just you wait and see. And I think that would have made more sense just because of the unknowns with Brock's UCL and all those types of things. But that didn't happen. And if you pull up Tom Brady's last season with the Bucs and you compare it to Brock Purdy's season last year with the San Francisco 49ers, and you just go kind of line by line and you look at it, you look at the record Brock Purdy went 12-4 that last season. Tom Brady went 8-9. You look at the completion percentage. Brock had a 69.4, and Tom Brady had 66.8 completion percentage. Tom Brady did have more yards as he threw for nearly 4,700 yards, while Brock threw for 42. But it is important to note that 4,280 yards was a franchise record for yards in a season, beating Tom Brady, beating Joe Montana, Steve Young, and the record that was set by Jeff Garcia. So he still had a quality year, but you can look at the yards per attempt on each pass was 9.6, which I do believe was, if not the highest, one of the highest. I don't have that information right in front of me, but I do know he was very high in that regard. And you just kind of go down the line, and you look at his 31 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, to Tom Brady's 25 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And, that interception number is hugely inflated off of the one game, which was the Ravens. But you look at the passer rating, he obviously can move better than Tom Brady. So if I had to throw my hat into this conversation, I'm hands down, I want Brock Purdy over Tom Brady. And listen, that's no slight at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is, the GOAT, and many people look at him that way for winning 6 championships, and what he did was is unprecedented, and why he is considered the GOAT. But a year off of football, 46 years old, and you have to choose between a guy who could maybe give you a year or two more of good football versus Brock Purdy, whose career is just starting off, is just ascending. And I feel like that there's still so much more room for Brock to even get better. And he just took his team to a Super Bowl last year, and he probably takes the 49ers to the Super Bowl in his rookie season if he doesn't get hurt. So for me, again, last year, I could have understood, I could have rationalized, I could have made sense of Tom Brady coming onto the roster while Brock was going through the UCL surgery in that process. But this year, nah. I mean, if Brock were to get hurt for the year, knock on wood, sure, Tom, come through. Let's see what we can do. Because we do know that, when Brock originally got hurt in his rookie season, Kyle Shanahan was calling on Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. So I would prefer Tom Brady, I think, over those two, if Brock were to go down for any reason. But if you had to ask me point blank, Tom Brady or Brock Purdy in 2024, it's 100% Brock Purdy, and it's not really up for debate. For me, in that regard, I think Brock has solidified himself, how much work he put in, the leadership that he brings to this team already. That just doesn't make sense to me to start this year with Brady. Again, if you need a quarterback and you need someone to step in right away, okay, that's a different conversation. Brock Purdy, Tom Brady, right now as it stands, I'm going Brock. And again, I'm going with a 24-year-old dude who's ascending versus a 46-year-old guy who hasn't played football in a year. And that's no disrespect to Tom. But this is Brock's team. We've had enough quarterback controversy. Is this our quarterback controversy for the offseason? Oh, I just realized. Is this our quarterback controversy for the offseason? Brock Purdy versus Tom Brady. Round 2. You know that TikTok trend that's going back and who's going to win? I'm going Brock. But who are you going? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.